Hi friends, welcome to Mule for Learn from D series of videos. Today we are going to discuss about JMS queues, topics, and how to publish messages to JMS queue or JMS topic. So let's have a look what is queue and what is topic. So basically queue refers to point communication, right? And topic actually provides the mechanism uh, to send a single message to multiple subscribers at the same time. So it is like one to one and one to many. So let's have a look into the picture. So this is a kind of picture which actually describes how queue and topics are actually conceptual wise different, right? So as you can see, the publisher publishes the message to topic, and once the message reaches to the topic, it actually provides the copy of the same message to different subscribers. And in case of queue, it is like it is one subscriber and one sender and one receiver, right? It is point to point. Now the thing is that why do we use queue and topic? So the advantage is suppose it could be some situation where you don't want the receiver system to be always up, and there could be some scenarios like where you want the sender system to send the messages to any time to the queue anytime, and the receiver system will not need to be online at that particular time. So if in that case, if you want to make the data communications, in those scenarios we can use queues. These are basically asynchronous messaging techniques, right? So there is a thing in about queue and topic regarding the products which are available in market. We have ActiveMQ, RabbitMQ, then we have IBMMQ. So these are the different products which actually provides the similar kind of this queue and topic implementation. Also publish and subscribe, as we have seen in the diagram. So publish and subscribe basically refers to the usage of topic, and the point to point communication, which is sender and receiver, that points to the queue implementation, right? So let's have a look into the Mule flows, which I have particularly developed for this demonstration purpose. So what are the things we will cover today? It is like these are the scenarios we are about to cover today. First one is publish a message to JMS queue. So JMS basically refers to Java message services, right? So regarding JMS, we have a dedicated module, JMS connector for Anypoint Studio. We will have a look into that. Also, that module is having different connectors, different operations, so which we will use for publishing the messages to topic and queue, also to consume the messages from there, right? So as part of this demonstration, I am using Anypoint, that is ActiveMQ I am using. So this is the one I am using, and the version is let me show the version also. So it is version 5.16.0. all right, so this is the version I am using, version of MQ. So it is, as you can see, 5.16.0, right? So it is running on my local system, and let's go to the admin console of ActiveMQ. So that is, if we just have a look here, so it is running at localhost 8161, right? So localhost 8161. So this is the console for web console for ActiveMQ, where we can see the queues which are currently present in the ActiveMQ server, and then the topics which we have created. So basically I have created one topic here for this demonstration purpose, and the queues, these are two queues which I have created for this demonstration purpose. And now we will also see how to send the messages and consume the messages from these queues, right? Also the topic we will use, and we will publish the messages to topic, and we will also consume the messages from the topic using subscription. So you will see how to create subscription using a Mule flow. So let's directly go to our message flow. That is the Mule configuration flow, right? So as you can see, this is my Mule project, which I named it as JMS-in-Mule, and then this is the Mule configuration file which we are about to use for this demonstration, and it is having four flows, right? So publish message to JMS queue, then publish message to JMS topic, and consume message from JMS topic, and consume message from JMS queue. So these are very basic operations which we want to perform on queues and topics. So before going into the detail about the flows and their message processors, we want to see what are the modules. So this is the JMS module which we need to include before implementing the JMS related operations, right? So if you go to add modules, and from here you will find that the list of modules are there. In case you don't have, then you can directly click on search in Exchange, and then you can type there the JMS module, then you will find it, right? So for me, it is already available there in JMS. It was already available there, and I directly just drag and drop here from this section. I drag it and drop it here, and then by doing that, it has been available here. So as you can see, in case of JMS, we have different operations. As you can see, acknowledgement, then consume, on new message, publish, consume, recover session. So these are the operations. Let's have a look into our first message flow, that is publish message to JMS queue. So here basically I have used one listener, and this is typical HTTP listener which I have used. And for this configuration purpose, I have used localhost, and this is the port we are using. And then in the path section, I have mentioned it as send to queue. That means as we are trying to push some messages from this message flow to from this Mule flow to the JMS queue, that's the reason I have mentioned it as send to queue. So and the next message processor is the publish, which belongs to JMS module. So this one we are using, which is used for publishing any message to queue. So as you can see, the connector configuration, it is referring to JMS config, and if we go to the global configuration, we will find that these are the this is the actual configuration related option, right? So this is the user ID and password which we need for connecting to JMS, connecting to ActiveMQ. So I have used the default one, and obviously we have to mention some Mule some client ID, and we will see that why it is basically required. It is during the subscription, because the same connection details we are about to use for subscription also. So that's the reason this client ID would be actually required. All right. And now this is the URL where our service that any point MQ is available. Default URL I am using, that is TCP port, that is 61616 and localhost, right? So this one we are about to use. Now let's test the connection, whether it is able to connect to the our local ActiveMQ server or not. Okay. So as it is saying that already there is some connection with this details, so it is not able to do that. All right. So let me show you why it is happening, because the flow is already running. Okay. So as you can see, this flow is already running. So now I have stopped the flow, and let us just go to this and try once again with test connection, and this time it should successful. Okay, so as you can see, it is test connection is successful. And regarding this library function, I mean the required libraries, we basically need ActiveMQ client. Okay, so this one we need, and if you just click here, and you will find some add recommended libraries option, and from by selecting that, you would be able to add this library. Regarding this Kaha DB and broker, these are having different purposes. So if you go to JMS connector documentation at MuleSoft site, you will find that this Kaha DB and these are basically required for some specific purposes. Okay, so in case you need more details, then you can refer to the MuleSoft documentation, which is available there at MuleSoft website. Okay. And in the consumer section, I have just mentioned it as it was by default mentioned as queue consumer. Here in the global configuration, if we have set some property, and if we want to override that one at the processor level, that we can do. Okay, so which facilitates the option to use the same connector same global configuration to be utilized for topic consuming also, right? So these are pretty much about the connection details which I have configured here. And let's have a look the similar kind of as you can see, the payload, I have set the payload as successfully sent, to just let the client know or the caller know that that message which was pushed as the request, that was successfully pushed to the queue. Okay, similarly other flows are also having the same thing, but here as you can see, in case of queue, I have mentioned it as topic. Okay, and the destination type is topic, and the connection, that is the global configuration, that is using the same configuration, right? Also here I have mentioned successfully sent as the response. Regarding this one, it is consume message from JMS topic. So that means this is going to use consume operation. So that is this operation I have used. So the consume operation uses the same connector configuration which we have mentioned there in the global configuration, and here as you can see, I have mentioned the topic and the consumer type as topic consumer, right? So now as you can see, I have mentioned durable as true. So let's do one thing, we will just remove this and we will save it. Okay, and as I mentioned that for once we publish some messages to the topic, we need to subscribe to that topic to get the copy of those messages. right? And there should be some name to the subscription, which I have mentioned it as Mule 4 subscription, and other details I have kept it as it is, right? So similarly, I have mentioned I have just set the response as payload. That means whatever message would be consumed, or whatever message would be received from the topic subscription, that would be printed as a response. And also, as an additional operation, I am publishing that message, whatever I am retrieving. Suppose as part of subscription, whatever message we are receiving, that I am trying to publish to the to a new queue, that is Mule JMS test.out, right? And let's go to the fourth flow, that is pretty much similar like the above one, and only difference is here I am using a queue consumer rather than using a topic consumer. Okay, so these are the flow related information which I wanted to show you before going to the actual demonstration. So now let us just run the message flow and the Mule flow, and once it is deployed, we will try to test it. Okay, and for the request for the testing purpose, I have already created the URL and the messages here in the Postman. I have kept it ready so that we can directly push the messages, and we can test the interface. So as we saw that there were four Mule flows in the same configuration file, and for them we have 4 URLs, right? And though the configuration is same, so this part will remain same, but this path, this service path would be different, right? So this is send queue, as you can see, and this one is get message from queue. This one is send to topic, and this one is get message from topic, right? So pretty much I have kept it as a very simple thing so that we can understand the actual implementation, right? So before going to the test, we want to see how many messages are there currently in the queues, right? So as you can see, this queue is currently not having any message as pending, and number of consumer is not is 0, and then message enqueued, that means message put till now after the queue was created. Till now, from that time till now, only 4 messages were put to the queue, and also the same was already retrieved, it was consumed. That's the reason it is showing as message dequeued, right? And this Mule JMS.test out, this queue is having total 11 messages in it currently, and it is showing that number of consumers are 0, and the message enqueued, that means the number of message which were put to this queue is 11, right? So what I want to do is I want to just purge the queue. Okay, so once we purge the queue, what will happen? It will clear the messages which are currently there in the queue. So if you see in the operation section, we have purge option, right? So now similarly, go to the topic, and let's have a look into our topic. So this one, as you can see, this is our topic, and the number of consumer is showing as 1, and the message enqueued is 9, and the message dequeued is 7. Okay, and to see the subscribers, we can come here in the subscriber section, and we want to see this details. So currently it is showing offline durable topic subscribers, so I just want to delete this. Okay, so this one, if we just Re-click, and here as you can see, this one is something different, right? It is not with our queue. So now as you can see, we don't have any subscription to our topic, and it is showing that currently the number of consumers is 0, and the message enqueued was 9 messages were put to published to the topic, and the messages dequeued were 7. So that means 2 messages were there, 2 messages are there in the topic which are not actually consumed yet, right? I mean, as part of subscription. So I hope our application is deployed. So as you can see, our application is already deployed. So now what I will do, I'll just go to this first URL, that is send to queue. So what I will do, I will make it as the ID as 2, and we have to see this is the queue we are trying to push the message. Okay, so in the, as you can see in the JMS configuration, that publish thing, we have mentioned this queue, right? So now let's just trigger the message, and as you can see, I am using post method, and I am about to click send, right? So as part of response, I can see it is showing as successfully sent. Now let's go to this queue, and as you can see, one message has been pushed to the queue, and so the current depth of the queue is 1. Now let's push another message and make it as ID as 3, and check the queue. So as you can see, it is showing depth as 2. That means the 2 messages which we have just pushed from the postman, that is stored in the, that messages are stored in the mule.jms.test.in queue, right? So now what we will do, we will just go to this URL where from we can use this message flow, this mule flow, to consume the queues, right? Consume message from the queue. So what it will do, it will consume the message from mule.jms.testin. So as you can see, I have mentioned it here, and then it will push that message to publish. It will push that message to mule JMS test out, right? And also it will set the response to the payload. That means whatever message would be consumed from this queue, it will set the payload to that content of the message, right? So let's have a look into the testing. So here I'm about to send. See, this one is from previous response, it is showing. So for us, we have basically published 2 messages, which is, first one is having ID equal to 2, and the second one is having ID 3, right? So let's see if we can retrieve those messages. So as you can see, it has retrieved the message from the queue, and this is the ID 2, right? So now let's have a look what how many messages are there in the queue. So as you can see, it is having only 1, and you can also see the same message was published to this queue, and that's the reason this queue depth has been increased by 1, right? So that message is currently remaining there in this queue, right? So now let's push another message. I mean, let's get the second message from the queue. So as you can see, that ID with the 3, this message also has come, and now this queue depth should be increased by 1. So now as you can see, it has increased by 1, right? So we can say that this in this message flow, the Mule flow is actually working as expected, right? So this is how we can push the messages to a queue in ActiveMQ in this case, and also we can consume those messages from there, right? Let's have a look into the topic operations also. So as you can see, this is sent to topic. So now what I will do, this is the message I am using. So let me do one thing. I will just use a simple message. So what we used here, so this one I will use here, right? And this time we will give it as 4, and we will see it, we will give it as XYZ, right? So now I will push it, and before that I want to see how many messages are currently there. So message enqueued is showing as 9, and the message dequeued showing as 7, right? So this numbers will get changed once we push some message to the topic. So let's push the message, and it is showing as successful, and the status code is 200, right? So now let's have a look into the topic. So again I'm clicking on this. Now if you can see, this has increased as 10, right? So earlier it was 9, so one message got dropped, pushed to the topic, and that's the reason it has been increased as message enqueued as 10. So again if we push another message, then that message would be again pushed to the queue, pushed to the topic, and similarly this this depth, message enqueued depth would be 11, right? So this is how it is happening. Now let's see if there are any consumers or subscribers. So as you can see, we don't have any subscriber. So as you can see, it is subscription names are not there, right? So offline durable topic subscriber or active durable topic subscriber, nothing is there, right? And also the topic is showing that it is not having, the topic is showing that it is not having any consumer at this moment, right? So now we are about to call this flow, that is consume message from JMS topic. What it basically do, it will, here as you can see, we are basically trying to consume the topic, right? So the way of consuming the topic is by creating some subscription. So this is the subscription name, and also we have mentioned the client ID there for the connection to the topic, right? So this is the client ID, right? So now I am about to call this flow. So get message from the topic. So as a result, what it will do, first it will create the subscriber. So let us see the subscription. So as you can see, one subscription has been created, right? And this one is the subscription. See, this one is the subscription, which is pointing to our topic as the destination value, right? So this subscription has been created, and let's have a look into our this request, and as you can see, it is not able to get any message. So the concept here is like, if the subscription is not durable subscription, if the subscription is not durable subscription, that means non-durable, in that case those subscribers will get only those messages which are sent at the moment when the subscribers are online, Okay, so that means if a subscriber is a non-durable subscriber, then they will receive those messages which are sent during the time when the subscribers are online, right? So that means suppose I am triggering another request to the get message from topic Mule flow, and what it will do, it will again try to get some message from the topic, but as it is not durable subscriber, that is the reason it won't get the messages which were pushed during its offline status, right? So right now, as you can see, the subscription, this request is actually trying to get the message, and what I will do, I will just send the message to the topic. So it is now sent, and you will see that immediately that message is reflected there in the get message from topic flow response. That means this subscriber was online at the sending time of this message to the topic. That's the reason this subscriber got the message, right? So this subscriber got the message, but if this subscriber, suppose this I am not triggering this flow, and I am just pushing another message to the topic. So I am pushing another message. So as you can see, so this message is successfully sent, and if now I try to consume that message using the subscription from that topic, I won't get that, because this subscriber is not a durable subscriber, right? So similarly, this subscriber is now online because it is trying to get the message, and now if I push another message to the topic, it will get that one. As you can see, it didn't get the message with ID 7, but it has received the message, a copy of the message with ID 8, right? So what if we want to configure the subscribers in such a way so that once the subscriber gets online, comes online, it can get all the messages which were sent before its status changed to online, right? So that means we want all the messages like when the subscriber was offline as well as online, we want all the messages to be received by the subscriber. So that is the requirement, right? So what we can do is, like, we can go into our subscription setting and we can make it as durable, right? So once we make it as durable, I have saved it, and as part of this, it is going to be deployed automatically. My flow is about to be deployed automatically. So as you can see, it has taken the deployment. Now it should behave like whether the subscriber, in case of durable subscriber, whether the subscriber is online or offline, it doesn't matter. It will get all those messages which was sent after creation of the subscription, and regardless of the subscriber status, whether it is online or offline, it doesn't matter for it, right? So let us just check whether our message flow is deployed or not. So it is showing as it is deployed. So let's do some check. So as you can see, I have pushed some request, and as you can see, it is not able to get the messages which were put earlier to make this subscriber as durable, right? So after making this subscriber as durable, we need to see that the subscriber has come as like active durable subscription, right? So this is the durable subscription, as you can see. So now if we push any message, suppose I am about to push a message with ID 9, so it should get that message here, right? And now as you can see, this subscriber has already received the message, and this consumer basically this subscriber is now not listening for any message, because the response has been returned back to the client. And if we again push some message and it is waiting for the response, that time it will show as online. So now if I just check it here, as you can see, it is offline durable subscriber, right? So it is showing as offline durable subscriber. Now what I will do, I will push multiple messages when the subscriber is offline. So this one successfully sent, this one successfully sent, and also this one successfully sent, right? So now the question is, if I just try to get the messages from the topic through the subscription, will I get all these three messages, like the with ID 9, 10, 11 and 12? Will I get that? The answer is yes, because the subscriber is a durable subscriber, right? So once I push the trigger this message flow, the Mule flow, it will first get the message as it is 10. That means, as you can see, though the subscriber was offline during sending the message to the topic, still it can get the messages once it has become online, right? So similarly it will be able to retrieve the next message also, and similarly it will able to get the third message also, right? So this is the property which is called durable, using which we can configure this so that the subscriber can get all the messages regardless of its status, right? Let's have a look into another feature. So that is let me go to this topic this subscription settings. So there is another option, that is no local, right? So what does that mean? See, no local is basically tells that we don't want the messages from the topic, we don't want those messages from the topic which are actually pushed to the topic by the same application, right? So our application name is JMS and in dash Mule. So if suppose using the same application with a different Mule flow, if I have pushed the message to the topic, and if I don't want the same message to be retrieved by our subscription, in that case we have to select this option, that is no local, right? So let's see what happens if we set this property and just deploy our message flow, right? So I will save it. So it is deploying the message flow currently. We will wait for the deployment, and we will try to check which messages are being sent to our subscriptions, right? So what I will do, I will first check what is the status of the subscriber. So it is now offline durable subscription. It is showing subscriber. Now I will put message with ID 13, and it is showing as successfully sent, and this is showing as successfully sent, right? So 13 and 14 we have sent. And now if we see we are trying to retrieve the message, and the subscriber is now active durable subscriber, though it is active, but we are not able to get the messages from the topic. What is the reason behind it? Because the subscription was created by the same application, and the message which was pushed to the topic, it was also pushed with the same application, by the same application, right? So it actually checks whether the messages, whether any different messages are there in the topic. If it is, then only it will allow that subscription to get a copy of that message. Okay, so no local property actually defines that. So as you can see, it is it was not able to get any message from the topic, though we sent 2 new messages to the topic, right? So what we will do, we will try to send some messages to the topic using ActiveMQ send option, right? So send to option I will use. So using this interface, we can also send some messages to it, right? So I will copy this message and I will put that message there, and I will make it as 15. Okay, then this is the topic, and number of message to send is 1, and the keyword topic, so this one I have it is by default it is selected, so I'll push just send. Now if I try to get some messages from the topic, what will happen? See, it has retrieved the message which was pushed from the browser with the ActiveMQ web interface, right? So as it was not pushed by the same application which is actually trying to subscribe from the topic, that's the reason it has successfully received the copy of that message, right? So now we will see another feature, that is publish consume, right? So publish is a kind of fire and forget kind of concept, which is like push the message to the queue or topic and just forget about it, right? But publish and consume actually wait for the response from that particular queue, right? So it is like if I have published some message to the queue, and once the reply is sent back, then only the publish consume operation is successful, right? So it's reply. So let's have a look. So suppose I am about to copy this this flow, right? So what I will do, I will just simply press roll and I will click it and I will just sit beside that, right? And by doing that, it will copy all the properties from the source flow, right? From where we have copied. So now what I will do, I will go to configuration and I will go to the last flow, so that is this one, and here I will say it as publish consume, right? And then I will actually remove all this copy of part, so I will replace it and I will save it, right? And also what I want to do is like So I want to change the path also. So let's change the path, and this is get message from queue, so I will keep it as post. Then this message publish and consume, so this one. Publish message to queue, right? So this one, publish message to queue and wait for reply. So this is the path I am about to use for this configuration, and similarly I will copy this and I will change this path. So this is after changing this part only it actually changes the path, right? So I will save it just and I will go here, and if we go to this section it is actually using consume, so I will use publish and consume, right? So let me first copy this queue, and then I am about to remove this component from here, and we are about to use publish consume, right? And the same configuration we are about to reuse here, and the message the queue name is this one, and also publish consume, and I'll keep it like this. And what else? So this is how it will I want it to be behave, right? Now again I will create another flow which is basically with this listener, that is on new message, right? So as you can see from here, we are trying to push the messages to the push the message to this mule.jms.test.in queue, and once that message is pushed to that queue, we want this listener to pick that one. So basically this listener listens for the message to the same queue where we are actually publishing the message, right? So now I will just use one logger here, which will basically it will print the payload, right? And for the listener I will use the same configuration and also the same queue name, right? So this is the one, and what kind of consumer it is a queue consumer, right? So it is a queue consumer, and so as you can see the error is gone, right? So now what I will do, I will also set the payload here, and I'll make it as message retrieved, right? So set payload, and I will make it here also so that we can easily see that. So now as you can see, this will these two flows I have put here, right? So this flow name I will change it as retrieve from this from the queue process reply, right? So this is the thing, and our flow has been already deployed, as you can see. Now what I want is I want to basically debug this flow, right? So why to debug? Because once the message pushed to this queue and then this flow would be triggered. So I want to show you that how this flow gets triggered, right? So before that, what we will do is we'll just use this call. Okay, so this one I will try to push it from here, and this is the one we are trying to use, and we will use 20 here, right? And 20, with that we will use suppose PQR, right? So as you can see, message retrieved, that reply has come, because from here it actually we have called this flow, and from here it pushes the message to the actual queue, that is the mule.jms.test.in, and once that message is pushed, then this flow actually gets triggered, because this listener actually listens on that queue, and once that is triggered, then it actually prints the log, and this is the log. So this is the message which was pushed, and this is the payload. So once the payload is set, the response is sent back, and the controls goes back to this to the next processor of this element. And here if you see, we have make it as payload as the response, right? And what is the payload at this moment? Here the payload is whatever we have set it here, right? So the message retrieved, that's the reason the message retrieved has been returned to this response, and also the same message, the message retrieved, the same message has been pushed to the this mule.jms.test.out queue, right? So let's have a look with the debugging. Debug the project, and it will deploy it, and we'll just debug this portion, right? So here I will put a breakpoint, and also here I would like to put a breakpoint in this processor, this one, right? So now let's have a look if it is deployed. So we are already in the debug perspective. Let's our flow get started, and we will have a look. It is initializing at this moment, and at the same time, let's change our message. So we will make it as 21, and we will keep it as PQR also, right? So it is trying to initialize our flow. Okay, so it is deployed, right? So what I will do, I will, with the different ID, that is ID 21, I am about to push the message, which is about to push the message to the same queue, and where with our listener is listening, right? So let's have a look. As you can see, it is there at the publish consumer section. So what I will do is I'll just press this button, that is next processor. So as you can see, it has gone to this message flow, right? And if we just move forward, it is setting this one, this payload, and then it will go back to this. So now why it has thrown some exception? Because of the timeout, operation timeout after 10 seconds, right? So 10,000 milliseconds refers to 10 seconds. So that's the reason it has given some exception due to timeout. So what we will do, we will just move ahead, and I will set the timeout value a little bit bigger so that we can see the mass. So we received the actual the exception due to the timeout. So what I have set is like I have set it as 60,000 milliseconds, that means 60 seconds. I want this component to wait for the response, right? So by default, if we don't mention anything, it actually refers to 10,000 milliseconds. So that is the default value, right? So I have made it as 60,000 and I have deployed the same application, right? And now what we will do, we will just send the same message and we will see that it has come here. And if we just click to this F6, that is the next processor, and as you can see it has come here, and it will go to the set payload, message retrieved. And now let's wait for some time, not there, no, so that it doesn't get, I mean not that much time, so that we can see that the timeout value has been increased actually. Okay, so we need to let's say above 10 seconds. Okay, so more than 10 seconds we will wait here, and now let's process. So as you can see, it didn't throw any exception regarding the timeout. So now we have the current processing at set response set payload component, which is in the publish consume message from JMS queue in this flow. And now if we move ahead, this is the component is executed, and now if you see, this is the message retrieved. So these are the basic operations, basic properties which I wanted to show you. So regarding this shared, it is already a long video. So regarding this shared, I will prepare another video, and then we can see the actual usage of that property. Okay, so there are basically so many other properties are there for JMS. So for today it is I wanted to show you only these things. So I hope it is helpful, and please do comment, and in case you find my effort useful, then please do subscribe. Thank you.